The ADAC Formula 4 Championship once again went down to the final race, not between two drivers, but three. In a race that would go down the closing laps, jury VIPs came out on top to celebrate the full 2017 title, 12 months after securing the Vice Rookie crown. After 3 years, Prema Power Team finally came good with not just the team's title, but also the drivers and vice champion role, as Marcus Armstrong's unbeatable run of results in the middle of the year ensured he would push VIPs equally as hard. The final man not to forget was Felipe Drugovich. The Brazilian had not shown the consistency of VIPs, but won more races 7 than any driver. All three will look towards FIA European Formula 3 potentially next year, but looking back, will hope to build on the success that 2017 brought. Returning faces fill the grid. The results of the rookies this year will be seen as proof as to why this was arguably the worst year for new drivers. Instead, it would be the returning rookie drivers of 2016, as well as a few older competitors, who occupied the front during pre-season testing. Fresh off of winning the Formula 4 UAE Championship, South African Jonathan Aberdeen was seen as the man to beat, with Drugovich also showing strong pace in the one he would inherit thanks to Joey Mawson's title campaign last year. Despite a poor pre-season, VIPs announced himself with a bang during Oschersleben, winning the opening event from the man who beat him to the rookie crown last year, Niklas Nielsen. The Dane won the second race with VIPs and himself the stars of the opening weekend. Going into the Lausitz ring, the U.S. racing team shocked many by locking out the grid in qualifying. The team, though, had failed to fit cambershams to all cars, and in a court battle that lasted until the final round, would see all 4 drivers disqualified from the event. U.S. Racing's Lausitz ring DSQ crippled their team's championship chances. Credit Group C Photography Championship moved off track. Ultimately, this would benefit Drugovich, with VIPs still leading the overall order into the Red Bull ring. VIP's teammate Armstrong had been highly rated, but had failed to pick up a podium in the opening rounds. He truly came to form in Austria, though, winning the opening race. At the time, this would be 7 different winners in as many rounds, while recording further silverware in the following 2 races that Drugovich and VIPs won. The slightly shortened season meant that the second Oschersleben round marked the halfway point of the year as VIPs started to struggle. This gave Drugovich the momentum and lead of the championship, with Armstrong continuing his podium string to 5 races. VIPs only picked up a single podium at Nürburgring, but by not finishing outside the top 6, still picked up more points than both his rivals who picked up wins. Elsewhere, Liram Zandella's season finally came good with a second and first place, putting him back into contention for 6th overall in the standings at the time. 3 drivers remain from picking up only 1 podium to not picking up one at all. VIPs seemed on the back foot. Drugovich's back luck continued, while Sachsenring saw Armstrong continue his strong form. Instead, the round was once again a story of the U.S. racing crew, with Fabio Scherer and Julian Hanses taking wins apiece. This celebration would turn into dismay just a week later when the results of the DMSB came back, excluding all 4 from Lausitz ring. This automatically handed Prema the team's title, but benefited Drugovich more than their own drivers in the championship standings. Armstrong now lead, but was only 2.5 points ahead of VIPs and 18.5 ahead of Drugovich. Jury VIPs 44 only won 2 races in the year, but points in every round he finished, and 1 retirement kept him on top for most of the season, fighting back to clinch the title in the final race. Credit Group C Photography chances would not look good for the Van Amersfoort racing crew, though this all changed on Saturday when neither Premas qualified within the top 10. Armstrong had crashed in qualifying, leaving him in 21st, while VIPs was only 14th. Drugovich, on the other hand, started second and took the lead in the opening lap to return to the top of the standings. The Brazilian's amazing run of luck could not continue, though. He stalled on the grid for race 2 and held his head as further issues resulted in a retirement. Neither VIPs or Armstrongs made it into the top 5, but scored points as Zandelli continued a strong weekend with another podium, this time a win. It would all come down to the final race, with VIPs leading the standings. All the Estonian had to do was stay in front of Armstrong and Drugovich. Armstrong started on pole, but was unable to break away, with Artem Petrov claiming his first win as he hoped to assist teammate Drugovich. Drugovich would only claim 5th as Armstrong beat VIPs to 2nd, but missed out on the title by 4.5 points. The result came after 2 years of hard work by the 17-year-old VIPs as he looks to move up. The disqualification of the U.S. racing drivers from 1 round, plus a strong final event, handed Zandelli 4th in the title as BWT Muck Motorsports' highest-placed driver. Unlike VIPs, Felipe Drugovich 1 and Marcus Armstrong 9 relied more heavily on dominant races, or weekends, as Drugovich recorded 7 wins while Armstrong was on the podium for over half the races. Credit Group C every result matters. Shearer would take 5th overall, losing his large advantage thanks to the points drop. The Swiss driver already has a Euro F3 contract for 2018, after another race win this year proved to be his coming of age. While he did have the record of being the only rookie to win an overall race in 2016, it had seemed a fluke of strategy to many, though his results this year has proven that he could have a long career in racing providing he can adapt to the vehicle. 6th would be his U.S. racing teammate Nielsen. After a strong opening 2 rounds, the Dane quickly dropped back and won off rounds in the Danish Formula 4 Championship ultimately did not help him as he failed to pick up a podium after his large accident at Nürburgring. Nielsen's fellow compatriot and Danish F4 rival Fredrik Festi would impress many with his run to 7th. While not classed as a rookie due to one-off rounds prior to the opening race, would become the highest-placed graduate, even picking up an overall win at Oschersleben that gave him confidence during the second half. While many drivers may be pleased with their results, some will leave the year with a sour taste in their mouths. Kim Lewis Schramm has become a regular in now his 4th year but dropped places and failed to pick up a win, while Camilo Libertad, in his 3rd season, pulled out after Nürburgring. He wasn't the only driver to pull out with 2 rounds to go as Juan Manuel Correa focused on his GP3 Series promotion after recording 1 podium all year as his teammates fought for the title. As for Aberdeen, he failed to live up to the hype of being F4 UAE champion and finished a point behind Schramm in 9th. Liam Zendelli 5 had a bumpy ride in 2017, but picked up 3 wins on his way to 4th overall. Credit Group C Photography Hanses was the most affected by the U.S. racing team's DSQ, due to his incredible weekend at the Lausitzring, while bad luck prevented him from collecting more at the Sachsenring despite 2 poles. He finished 11th. Elsewhere, Sophia Fliersch's second-half improvement became the story for many as she picked up 2 podiums in 2 rounds to finish 13th ahead of Michael Waldherr and Petrov, who picked up a win despite only competing in the final 3 weekends. As for the rookies, it would be Mick Wishofer who collected the crown as he recorded a single overall point in the final race of the year. The championship will remain relatively unchanged for 2018 as Pirelli announced their commitment to the series, with the existing German TV package continuing until 2020.